Morning everyone and welcome to day 4 of making your CMMS your operating system. And today we're going to look at the importance of the role of your vendor in making this a success for your organization. So just going to swap now over to our presentation. Hopefully everybody can see that now okay. So vendor interaction is possibly one of the most important areas of ensuring your success. We all know there are hundreds of CMMS vendors out there, and CMMS software comes in every format from shareware up to multi-million solutions. But it's this interaction that is really going to make the difference and how successful you are going to be. So again, I suppose the most important section of working with your vendor is customer support. And you should set up a KPI to evaluate how this is actually working for you. So just looking through on the questions that you should ask prior and that you should evaluate as time is going on. So before you're purchasing a CMMS system, have you really thoroughly discussed what levels of support you're going to get from your vendor? And have you not just discussed it, but have you even evaluated how good this is actually going to be and tried it out? And it should allow you to do a test run to see how good the support is going to be. Has your vendor assigned you a dedicated go-to person on it? It's nothing worse than every time that you ring up your vendor, you're talking to a completely different person who has virtually no knowledge of what you discussed previously with them, except for what they can see on their own computer screen. You really need to have a person that is working directly with you and that you can contact when you need it. And was there an additional charge for this? Some do charge extra, but if you're getting exceptional support from this person, this might be a very worthwhile expense on it. And do you have multiple ways to contact support? For some, you only have a support form that you fill in and they'll get back to you eventually. Ideally, you should have a direct telephone number at least, because sometimes if things go wrong, you need to get it back up fast, not waiting 2 or 3 hours before somebody comes back and saw your message and can I help you, etc., etc. And what's your average response time? Ideally should be 1 to 3 hours. I mean, you're going to expect this from a contractor if you have an emergency call out. So you should expect the same response time from your CMMS vendor. And what's the typical fix time on it? So if you do have a bug, ideally it should be sorted within the same day. Or if not, they should keep you constantly informed as to the progress of getting this bug fixed. Again, nothing worse than you've got a problem and you're just waiting there, literally watching the clock go by until you eventually find out it might be the same day, next day, a couple of days down the line before you're actually operational again. Not really great support on it. A weird one, but I can think of at least 2 vendors out there, and basically if there's a bug in the system, they're going to try and blame you for it. And one of them in particular, they will actually ask you for a purchase order number with an open value to fix any bugs with their software. I mean, like, come on. I mean, if the software is faulty, it's up to the vendor to fix it and not expect you to pay for it. But it actually happens too there, and it's a crazy setup, and it's something that you should ask before you purchase a CMMS system. Otherwise, this could be quite expensive for you. And your vendor support, is it limited just strictly to the CMMS? We've spoken about this before over the last few days, that ideally a vendor should have a background in facilities on it so that their support can extend beyond the CMMS. Not directly dealing with your on-site facilities problems. That's your role in it. But they should provide support in how to use the CMMS to adapt to your facility issues on it. Then they should also support you on improving the usage of your CMMS. Now, I know there's things like GDPR and stuff like that, but you can get permission from the customer on it, and just let the vendor have an eagle's eye view of just how you're using your CMMS. This way, if they see that there's areas not being used, or if they can see that maybe you're not using an area of it to your best advantage, that they should be able to contact you and say, look, if you do this, you're going to get a whole lot more benefit out of it. It's a good vendor that does that for you. And as I say, as I was talking there with facilities related issues, yeah, they should know how your CMMS can help you with these and work with you on them. Training is a very, very big issue on it. Some CMMSs, and I would say like my own facility manager, is quite easy to use, and I've actually had clients use it from A to Z without any training on it. But realistically, some training is required on it. And how is this provided? Is it in person?